talked last way, like I told, I was working on a IEEE 1394 project with Infotech. They were getting renamed as Anything Incorporated. They're trying to spin off that as a separate company or a separate entity, as a separate startup company. So we were involved with Wipro at that time because IT business was in great boom at that time, right? IP sport and sold to multiple customers. That was that one, right? It was that was in 97, 98, there was a great boom, right? So, so that was happening. So we learned all the Verilog know-how and how to write simulations, how to synthesize it. So those technology we got. And I was starting on 1394, some open forums through emails. So as I told, my email ID was ecil@wipinfo.soft.net, right? So we are a team of 3-4 people who are given the same one login ID. We exchange communication. So when I was asking, using that handle on to understand some of the details on the protocols and the standard. So one gentleman asked, replied to me in private and asked, "Are you from ECIL?" Yeah, I said, "Yes, I'm from ECIL, Hyderabad." Then he started conversing with me through email saying that, "What are you doing? How come is easy?" Then he explained, "Is ECL working in IEEE 1394 firewall?" Then I had to tell him the history. No, we are not directly working. We engage with the pro and things like that. Right? And he was very keen and he said he wants to meet me when he comes to Hyderabad next. So he was in the US. He said he's running a services company in the US called Technology Rendezvous Incorporated, and they have an office in Hyderabad. So he wanted to meet me on his next visit. He said, "Yes, fine." I said. So when his next visit, he came to India. He told he's going to come so date. So I was also in Hyderabad at that time. So we met and he made an offer. Why don't you join us? We want to start a hardware team. We want to join a real estate team here in India. Why don't you join us? Then I was interviewed by one of the my ex-colleague in US. His name is Priyadarshan. Call him PD. He's a very good, nice person. BL Priyadarshan. You can just check in LinkedIn. He's working in Cisco right now in Bay Area in California side. He's also working the school kids on robotics projects and this kind of thing. He's running a website. Yeah, I'll post in the WhatsApp group if there is interest. Some of you, he's teaching school kids. They are building good projects. I'm not had a take over his website, but he shared a website link with me. Very nice person. He's from Karnataka. Down to earth person. Very down to earth. Very simple person. He interviewed me and he said, "Okay, let's hire Hari." Right. And then, so there is an Indian counterpart was called Rendezvous on Chip. So there is a startup company based in Hyderabad. I joined them in 1998, month of September, October time period. Exactly 5 years after spending ECIL, right? So to the ECIL, I told them before 1 year before, I'm going to quit this company. I'm going to get married and I'm going to quit this company. Right? So I told them, nobody will give a 1 year notice, right? But I did that because I thought it is my ethics. So I built the team from scratch. And what they will do if they quit the company, I'm really concerned about the company. So the kind of relationship I had with the manager and the super manager. So this is a funny thing, like it's a private thing, but just keep it with you. My manager's manager, the super boss, he sent a message through my boss saying that he wants to offer his daughter in marriage to me. They're from the same community, so he offered, right? But that couldn't work out because of some technical reasons, like what happens in the community. So I don't want to share the details, but please ask me in person if you want. And so it was not acceptable. I told him, so it was not acceptable because of that particular reason, it will not go through. Don't need to talk. But that message went to the big boss. The big boss called me and said, "I'm okay. I don't believe in all the superstitions." But I told my family believes in those certain values, and they would not encourage that practice. And I communicated to my parents also. I told what you did is right. Anyway, so that was the respect I commanded. Or that was maybe he wanted to retain me. Maybe if he marry his daughter, probably he thought I'll work in ECL forever. I don't know, just my guess. Right? And he's a deputy general manager at that time. And even though he's eligible for a car, he used to come by the same bus. The ECL used to hire the buses, government buses for transporting their office employees to back home. Right? So he used to come in the same bus. So we used to chat a lot about a lot of subjects and everything. It's very, very down to earth person. So his name is V. Subramonian from Kerala. Subramonian, they call Subramonian in Kerala, right? So BS, we are calling BS. So he was a very interesting personality and very casual, easy to move with, and a very friendly personality. So that's one part of it. And obviously my boss was concerned, so he was asking, when are you going to leave? I told, no, time is yet to come, I'll tell you, right? So when actually I decided to leave, these guys asked me, they said, I'll tell Wipro, and why don't you join Wipro? So then the Wipro guys called, one of the general managers called, what, I'll make an offer to you, you come and join, whatever money you want, I'll give you. But I already committed to this person on rendezvous on chip. So his name is Mr. Muti Chitrapati. CSN. You can search for Muti Chitrapati in LinkedIn. You'll find him in my connections. He's very gentleman, very nice person. Right? So he's an entrepreneur basically himself, and one more person called Satyan. I forgot his last name, Satyan something. I forgot his last name. He also must be in LinkedIn, but I lost contact for last many years. So they were the founders of Technology Rendezvous, and they have an Indian startup called Rendezvous on Chip. Right? Rendezvous means meeting in a place. There's a French word, right? Where the hardware and software meet in a place. It's called Rendezvous. Right? They call Rendezvous on Chip. What do you call embedded systems these days? Right? There is no concept called embedded systems. No such keywords there at the time. Right? So it's called Rendezvous on Chip. It was a fantastic name. I used to ask them, and when they gave me offer and everything, I got a 6 lakh salary. I'll tell you because it's a private conversation. So in 1998, my salary at that TCL was hardly 80,000 or 90,000. I got married in 1998. Around September 10th, I joined this company with about 6 lakh salary. Plus perks like they'll give a phone, pay off for the company, they'll give a company phone. Landline, phone is landline. There's no mobile concept at that time. And they'll give a phone. And I'll be eligible for a car and everything actually. Whenever such a policy comes, they gave me a company stocks. It's not like this company, but some startup company stocks all they gave and encouraged me to join. So I also took the offer and joined. And so I was also loyal to them. It was very interesting discussions. I traveled to US 2 times to work on. From there also came. So we had a lot of friends. How do we hire that team? Right? We had just 1 or 2 people, very junior people. They were 2 years, 3 years experience, but we want to build the entire identity 1394 on the hardware. Right? We had a software stack running. Everything was on a sort of device driver level on some real-time operating system like VxWorks was very famous at that time. I don't know if it exists or not today. Today it's all Android and Linux and iOS kind of thing, right? Embedded operating systems today. There's something called VxWorks and there are a few other things. So they had the entire software stack, and our job was to put them whatever can be put in the hardware for acceleration. We have to architect and put it in the hardware, right? The software architect, the hardware architect were in US. So Srinivas Adepalli was the software architect, and hardware architect was BL Priyadarshan, or become as a PD, right? And PD had one more colleague of him, called Arvind Tirumalai. He's also in Cisco these days with them. But in 1998, we were together. There are 2 people in US, and there are 3 of us were in India. And we had to hire people, right? We don't know how to hire. So what we decided, we'll conduct a training batch. Right? We'll do a VLSA training. We'll train him on design verification with Verilog. Right? We thought we'll train people. We'll announce it in a newspaper. We'll pick up a batch of 20 people. We'll do an entrance test. We'll train 20 people who qualify the entrance test. We'll train 20 people. And the top 10 we'll hire. Once the top 10, we'll let you go. We'll get the knowledge. So you go first 10 top 10 people, they will reimburse the fees, and list of them you have to pay some very nominal fee, whatever it is, like few thousands of rupees in 1998, right? That's how I built my first team. I trained, personally, I trained all the people in Verilog. I don't know if somebody helped or not. So we trained and we built the people. And some interesting discussion. When you all join a company, right, this is what you should do. Right? I did that in 1998. So some of my friends brainstormed. So the offer was about to be made, and I spoke to the VP in India. His name is SN Murthy, Sriman Narayana Murthy, I guess, all like Telugu people. We call him SNM, SN Murthy. So he was very senior person, close 50 plus at the time. I was 28 years old at the time in 1998, 1970 born. Right? So I told him, SNM, I need a favor. He told, what is it? I want to talk to one of your employees before I accept the offer. He was taken aback for a minute. What is this special request? Then he thought about a moment. Talk to Srinivas Karsala. We call him Karsala. He's the right person. He's one of the senior most employees, but he's in software side. Why don't you talk to him? So at that time, he was more interested in training, software training kind of thing, right? He was also leading the development team. He's a technical manager at that time. So he was also 50% of the time he was mentoring people and training people and outsiders people. So he was kind of heading the training wing and the development wing, right? So I went to there's another building, 2 buildings away. There are like more domestic houses kind of thing. They converted to offices. It's not like offices what we have today, right? It's a house considered an office. small cubicles and things like that. So I went to 2 buildings away. I asked for who is Karsala. Then like one gentleman came, tall, little bit dark complexion. Probably he should be in LinkedIn. I'm not connected. Srinivasalu Karsala is his name, right? So he's about maybe at least 10 years senior to me, very senior person. I had about 5 years of experience. So he must be easily about 10 plus 10 to 20 years of experience. Very knowledgeable guy. I asked some technical questions about the work culture, what they do, what actually they did in software, what is to be done in hardware. Some more general talking, some technical talking. Very open conversation. He was very honest and very open, and he didn't need to sell the job to me. And I was convinced with the answers, and came back to Sanam saying, "Look, Sanam, I'm accepting the offer." The discussion went on well, right? So I accepted the offer, and after that we did all the training batch. We had 10 people. Now I had a team of 10, 13 people, right? We started developing the software stack. We used to have a lot of meetings. I traveled to US a couple of times. And even before that, I had to tell you about my first travel to US, right? So that happened in the year 1995. So when I joined ECIL, it was in 1993. When I did masters in IT Kanpur, I told the story in the previous recording. So 1995, because we had that funding from the Department of Atomic Energy, right? For the VLSA project funding. Part of the project, my manager went to the chairman MD, his name is Dr. Kasarbada, whatever the first name, I don't remember. He was a thorough gentleman, but tough task maker. He was a chairman for the public sector, right? So we went to him and he asked a lot of questions, and he's just because he had funding, he told about, look, you're not the right person to talk because you're going for a design automation conference. It's called DAC. It's very popular. It's like a VLSA conference. What happened in India? There's a DAC happens in US called Design Automation Conference, right? So we traveled to that conference. Our tickets were arranged. We got the travelers check for the cash in dollars. We go to US in cash. And one of my boss nephew, he stayed there. He was doing PhD in one of the universities there. He was probably working or something. His name is Kameshwar Rao Namaduri. He's working on one of the famous schools in the US. He's a professor there. I spoke to him last year, about 2 years before the COVID time, and his name is Kameshwar Rao Namaduri. You can look up in LinkedIn. So, very nice person, and he took good care of us because first visit for my boss and me, and we don't know what is north, what is south. He rented a car and he took care of everything, all the food and everything, what to do. He took off the entire food, and he is such a gentleman because his uncle was there and he took care of me also. So it was a great trip. So nice of him to take care of us in all aspects. He drove us. He showed us what to eat, what to not eat, where to eat. Took us to Saravana Bhavan and local places and all that, right? So we stayed. He asked us where to stay and everything. Because all the Indian communities were nearby, Indian grocery shops are nearby. Showed us. That was our first trip. So we enjoyed. The conference was in San Francisco, but we stayed in Bay Area, we stayed in San Jose or somewhere. We stayed. I don't remember the exact. It was one of the motels we stayed there. So he used to drive every day 1 hour to San Francisco. We used to attend the conference. 2 or 3 days we attended the conference. We came back. We spent about a week there, and then we came back and we wrote a report and we gave it to the chairman and managing director what happened. And then in the process, we met a lot of good people, like Dr. Vishwani Agarwal. He's one of the, if you look at one of the textbook what he wrote, you read in the last semester on the basic testing and testable design. One of the book what is recommended for you is from Dr. Vishwani Agarwal. So I met him in that conference, and so we got connected to him. Right? It was a good contact. He's a well-known person in testable domain, right? So we met few professors. One of the in Connecticut, one of the company had a proposal. They told they can work with us. You make another trip next time you come to Connecticut. I forgot the company name. So we can collaborate with you. I'm so happy that in India you're working on VLSI. This was happening in 1995, right? So VLSI is unknown basically at that time. It's just starting days of VLSI, right? So there's no basic, hi-fi tools and all that, and basic tools were there. So he was interested. I think TransSwitch, the company name is TransSwitch. I don't know if it's existing or not. It was called TransSwitch. So I don't know that agreement went further, but that was a nice experience. We came and shared, and I think the chairman was happy with the trip report and everything. And probably my manager was asking for one more trip, and it was not approved for obvious reasons, right? So he told only design people should travel, not the implementation people, right? Because we are just facilitating the actual designers who are developing the system. They are the actual hardware. They are designing the PCBs. So that was the story. There was a lot of funny moments, a lot of travel. I had to do everything right from A to Z, right? I had to sell the team. I had a team of about 5, 6 people. Then next year, more interns joined. Then they become converted. Right? I had about a team of 10 people. Like we were working on Wipro projects, and I used to get projects from outside. We used to do some FPGA and deliver to DRDO and SRO and all. So I used to get the company laptop and do the based route on the travel. So we had to deliver. Some devices were not working. Some timing was not meeting. On Bangalore, I was like going by car or auto or something to the DRDO office. Still, I had to deliver something on the I was running the peasant route while like I was traveling the auto or a car, whatever it is. I don't remember. Probably it was auto, not a car. A car they will not reimburse definitely at that level. Right? So it used to happen like that. And that was ECL days. And another one chip was there were more things. We had trained, we hired a team, and some of the people from ECL also came and joined. They followed me. But usually happens when the lead leaves, the rest of the people follow the lead. Actually, I didn't poach, but people came on their own. Some good friends of mine they came and joined. I didn't tell them to be ethical, right? I didn't tell where I joined. And some more interesting happened, right? So ECL refused to relieve me because I was a lead. So even though I told them 1 year before I'm going to leave, right? And I did give them the 1 month notice was as per the rules. I did that, and they didn't want to relieve me. Right? The deputy general manager told me project is going on, cannot go. Right? But I told him various reasons. I don't have enough resources because we want to buy some compute, and I don't have enough compute to some reason. I mean, we didn't have good internet connection. There were some reasons were there. I told him those reasons. It's not possible. So I cannot predict a timeline when it will happen. But very heated conversation. I walked out of the meeting actually. I got upset. I walked out of the DGM's meeting. Can you imagine? Walking out of such a senior. I just walked out of the meeting saying I disagree, and I walked out. And I didn't know what to do. I consulted with my senior friends, and I was told to go to union. You know, when government companies there'll be union, right? So all the communist people they form a union. So there was a ECL had a union group. So I went there to union lead there. So he was working in the same group. So he counseled me and told what you did is right. You have done the right things. Then I asked him how to do it. He told you step out. You're given enough notice. You don't have to come to office from tomorrow. You go out. Send a registered post letter that you have served the notice period. You are not coming to office from tomorrow. Also fax it. So I went out from the office. The next day I sent a fax. The other day emails were not very popular. Right? I sent a fax. Also sent the letter by registered post saying that I'm not coming to office from tomorrow because I served the legal notice period. And whatever your demands are unreasonable. Right? I sent a letter to them. And I got a reply notice from that, you have to appear within so and so date, otherwise legal action will be taken against you. Send a letter to my permanent address to me, Chennai. My parents were worried. What the hell is happening? What are you doing? Right? I told, don't worry. And everything cooled down. I went there. Like I didn't get a relieving letter, obviously, right? So, but the Red One chip guys were so friendly and they just wanted me there and they saw the value in what I'm doing and they said, "Come, don't bother about this. Just start a company, right?" So yeah, they gave me all the perks and good salary and 6 lakhs and in $20 big money actually, right? It was more than 6x growth for me, right? I'm hardly making 80,000 rupees. 80,000 rupees to 6 lakhs. Can you imagine with all the perks like car and landline phone, everything was like unimaginable. But there's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of late rate meetings. I had a computer at home, desktop computer, and used to dial in and to regular landline and have a chat. Like ICQ was a chat. Like Yahoo Messenger came later on, but there's something called ICQ. So ICQ, it's the name, but they call ICQ. You can search in. They are like not known today, but yeah, that's the first chat software came. Yahoo Messenger came later after that, right? So ICQ used to chat those people. So we can't afford telephone calls. It's a startup company, so we used to chat. Also communication used to have during chat and everything. We used to do a lot of work. And what happened after I got 2 years of experience, my other ECL people, like I was working in the ECL, right? So they went and started another company, startup company called Platis Communication. So he started. He was also one of the senior person. His name is Kameshwar Rao. Mr. Kameshwar, I forgot his last name, whatever it is. Maybe I had to look up. He must have retired. He must be very old by now. So he was in a fiber optics division there, right? So he was one of my customers. I did a lot of designs for them. So he came out and he called me for lunch one day. Hey, let's meet for lunch. Then he got his colleague or his manager or whoever it is. Then he made an offer to me. So he said, "You're starting a new office called Platis Communication. I want to hire you as a lead. I'll give you whatever you want. Can you come and join?" I told, "Boss, I'm also starting a team. I'm responsible for a team I'm running here. It'd be unethical for me to quit them and come in 2 years. So I would like to take the offer, but I'm fortunate to take up this offer." He told there's a lot of, they tried to attract me. It's a startup company. give us stocks. Very soon somebody will acquire us. We do a good product. They're doing a product company, not a service company. I was in a more like a product company, but they are doing services also, but we are developing an IP on a 3094 Ethernet, not Ethernet, fireware chip, right? We're doing that. So I kind of turned on multiple offers. I used to come and report to my management saying that this is are trying to poach me, but please take care of the other people, right? So we used to do that. And one of the a lot of tough situations I've faced. And I hardly had 5 years of experience, but I had to manage 15 to 20 people very soon, right? It's very, very tough. And I was not very open-minded at that time. I was not very friendly also. I was a tough taskmaster. You can ask any of my friends who worked with me like 25 years before. They used to fear me like a tiger. I was nicknamed as a tiger in their local circle, right? I was so severe because the job has to be get done, right? Because otherwise people will take lightly, right? I was so severe on them. Uh, I'll try to get interviewed with some of them. Will share, then all the real colors will come out in those things, right? So I know one of my close friends. They were close. We are very friendly and we're staying in the same complex and same ECL community. They used to have a housing kind of thing. We all stayed near. We were all good friends. They would help me a lot. But when it come to work is a work, right? I was a bit of we used to work during weekends. All these things we used to do in a public sector company. Right? It's not like anything to learn and everything. Right? Very tough work. A lot of hard work and working with Pro was not an easy job, right? So they used to give a lot of tough schedules with good quality. That's how we learned a lot of work on the projects, and we still delivered whatever we can. We did, right? So we came out of that, and yeah, so I told you, right, when the Wipro made an offer to join, I refused the offer because already accepted offer from Lenovo on chip. That's one story. Lenovo on chip, we continued. We built the team. So 1394, we had a lot of brainstorming discussion with the software architect, hardware architect. So the local people in software to understand what from software can be built in the hardware. And we implemented that also, we got it working. But the company changed the direction at the time. Let's build a product, no more IPs. They said at the time the TCP IP and firewall and IP security were very popular. It was around time 2000, basically 2001, right? We make a product. So I flew to US basically because they want to brainstorm because software architect and hardware architect were there. I flew to Santa Clara, that's where the head office was there. We brainstormed for 2 years, then we came with architecture, what will go in software, how software. We have to define all the interfaces of the system, right? Your system is hardware, software, board, and everything, right? So I was hardly, it was about 2000. It was about 2000. My son was not born, it's supposed at that time. It was 2000. My son was born in 2001, so it was much before that. 1999, 2000 time frame. Maybe I have to look at my resume. Probably you can see. Maybe I'll share my resume. Right? I have no problem. I'll post it in the WhatsApp group. You can have a look at my resume. Right? I'll put in my Google, maybe in Google Drive or just I add as attachment, but don't forward anywhere. Right? So that happened, and so we did a lot of solid work, and so I had more people at the time. So we built a solid. I had 25 people like at the time reporting into me, a hardware team, and some of the software people also were tasked to work closely with me. So very junior people, but we implemented the FPGA. We got it working. FPGA. We got the entire software working along with FPGA. And before that, we wanted to do the hardware software co-simulation. New concept became how do we use the C interface of the Verilog? Verilog has a C interface, is maybe knowing called PLI. So using the PLI interface of Verilog, we used to make calls to the software driver. So software driver will actually work. So in simulation itself, the software and hardware used to work together. It was a new concept, but we didn't know how to patent or write a paper on that. But we did all those things. And today is very popular. We have tools for that. Hardware, source simulations and everything, right? We did there's unknown terminologies, but we did a lot of new things, innovative things, thought out of the box. And it's not my idea, but yeah, but the architecture idea, but I made it work. The very junior people, right? So we worked a lot of day and night work, actually, right? We worked and yeah, we used to have team building. So slowly, like all those concepts came in at that time. So all those culture came in. So we had a lot of team building events to keep the team together. And some interesting events happened in ROC. Like I had one of the tough team member to face with, right? His name is D. Prabhakar Rao. Must be in LinkedIn server. I don't know his last name. His name is Prabhakar Rao. D stands for something in Andhra, his family name. And one more guy is called Lingaraj Siddhan. I had contact with him, but I don't know where is he now. You can find out from LinkedIn, you can trace. So those two people are very tough to deal with. I was also very junior at the time. I hardly had 7 years experience, 7, 8 years of experience. Dealing with 25 people is no joke. And some of my seniors were there in ECL. They also came and made a report to me. Madam, her name is Sarala, B. Sarala. It's a very close friend of mine in ECL. And she joined, and since I was leading the group, the VP asked her, but you can join. We have to report to her. But she's very senior to me, and she was reporting to me. She had no problem, but we are very friendly. We always used to consult her before I take any decision, right? So more that way, right? So how Dhoni and Virat Kohli worked in cricket, right? So Virat Kohli was a captain, but Kohli goes to Dhoni for every decision, right? It's very similar to that. So I always consult her and take decisions. But there's tough employees were there, right? One incident, I had to do appraisal cycle, right? You know what is appraisal? How to rate employees based on the performance. Then we have to grade them and their salary decision based on that, right? So I had to do the job. Tough job, right? The tough people were there. They were really demanding people. So one person rated himself out of scale of 5, he rated at 8, right? You have to rate between 1 to 5, so he rated himself 8. I got pissed off, right? So why somebody is doing all these things, right? And then I went and told the VP, said, I don't want to do a present for this guy is beyond me. You ask the US office, this guy is egoistic guy, and I don't know how to deal with you. Let somebody deal with it. Right? I shouldn't have said that. As a manager, I should have taken the responsibility. So it was given to me, but I was very young, right? I was not mature at the time, but I told, I don't know what the vice president thought about me, but anyway, it was some feedback was given to him, and it was somehow resolved. And he quit the company and went. He was the first casually quit and went. The other employee also, like Lingraj, he was also. We had a customer in Taiwan. It was an interesting project. The two of my guys, we did a board design for them. They wanted a certain solution. So we had a FPGA, we had a Texas Instrument chip on 5-layer or whatever it is. Some couple of chips of the option we have to do. We have to design a board. We have to write a software. We have to design FPGA interface, everything. So it was working well. Like there was for ultrasound scanner application using 3094 interface. Right? They want to connect the ultrasound scanner. You know what is ultrasound scan, right? When baby is in mom's womb or you are doing any scan for your tummy, any stomach issues, you do ultrasound scan. It's like that for that type of applications. Right? So they give the spec and we design the solutions for them. Complete system we design, hardware, software, and the board, everything. Because testing and everything was working in our place, right? Then people went to Taiwan. I didn't go. I sent to one of the hardware guy, one of my junior, one of the Lingraj Siddhan I mentioned, right? That person and one of the software person, his name is some Shamu something. I forgot the name. Those are they went to Taipei. They went to Taipei for the demo to the customer and do handover things. And there they put on a stress test on a real system. It started working after 2 days. And it was a nightmare to debug and find out what is the problem. We debug, and finally we found that one of the FIFO was overflowing. FIFO inside the chip, right? Not in our FPGA, but inside the Texas Instrument chip. So the data sheet was not very clear how to program. So we misunderstood that. We wrote the FPGA in a different way. Then after that, we had to work around the hardware. We had to rewrite the code, make sure that the FIFO is programmed appropriately, and we don't write in the FIFO, we leave some intermediate space. So the display was getting garbled and the scan was not coming correctly, right? The ultrasound scan was not coming correctly. After 3 days, right? It's very difficult to recreate such problems and do it. But so we debugged and we got to the root of it. So debugging skills are very important. So I keep saying that, right? So that it's very tough to debug in the hardware and customer side. We all know cost of 10. We learned in our classes, right? In the DFT classes and business testing classes. So that applies here, right? So we had to solve the problem because we are already at customer side, right? So we took time, we came back, people came back from customer side, we debugged the knowledge, whatever they got on the customer side, we recreated the problem. We could find that the problem with the way we programmed the chip, what we understood that was wrong. Data sheet was not correct. Probably we experimented that and then we got it working and then we sent the FPGA code to the customer side and then it was all working. Everything, that product was successful, actually, right? So that was the first turnkey project what we did to customer, right? So that went on well. So the ROC was going, that assignment was going on well. We did the firewall chip and we did almost the front end part. Back end was not started. We were about to give it to some other company, but a lot of verification, the huge team, there are 10-member verification team and one or two people for synthesis and about 10 people for design. I don't remember. I had to go back and recollect. The fantastic team I had, right? Fantastic team. Then at what time happened, the recession was happening in 2000, you know, right? The Y2K problem, then the attack happened on the WTC towers. You can go and search Google. So Twin Towers were attacked by the Afghan people. Right? There's a war happening and they didn't like to come and collapse the WTC towers and the recession was happening, right? So some people from my office from there, they moved to US because they want to keep their career options. We relocated H1B visa to US. So we hired new people and everything. At the time, the company was not able to pay the employees, right? So first I was myself and my boss, what we had. I had a very nice boss there. His name was Abhiram Krishna. Right? He's still a good friend of mine. I'll get him for a talk in my Bharat Semiconductor series. He's a very nice gentleman. I remember the book called I posted in the classroom, Who Moved My Cheese, and one more book called Fish I posted. They're all given by him, right? I'm going to send a message. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to Hyderabad end of this month. I meet him. I know his entire family, his wife. He's a very family friends, basically. He's just a nice gentleman. Anytime I call him, anytime he wants some help, he calls me, basically, right? So it's a great friend, and so a lot of stories about him. We can talk of it. Time will keep running. So we all took pay cuts, right? And then we pay some of the people and companies like Synopsys. Synopsys was not Synopsys at the time. Hyderabad was not some other company, where one of our ex-friend was like working there. So we placed companies and few companies we had to let go people because the company was not able to pay salaries, right? But the key people were there, rest of the people are asked to go. We found them jobs and we didn't send them home, but we found jobs and we placed them. Some companies, so the company got acquired by Synopsys at later days. So some of my employees are still there working there, right? And some friends are still working there. So that company, finally, like what happened is even they couldn't pay our salaries also. So then there was another service company in Hyderabad. So it's what's called Qualcore Technologies. Qualcore Technologies. So we were working at customer side on again 1394, I suppose. I don't believe or what. I think it was 1394 again. Or I forgot the project. That is that is on. Yeah, I think 1394 only. I forgot the project. It's a very interesting project, but on the 5 layer and all we are working on. That is wireless LAN. Sorry, it's a wireless LAN company. 802.11, 802.11, A and B. The standard came, it's a wireless LAN standard, right? So I remember, it's a wireless LAN company. It was called HelloSoft. They are also based in Hyderabad area. So we are working because they know that we didn't have work, but we had all the software licenses and everything. So you come with your computers, you get your tools and licenses, but they're only software people. They're two junior people in the hardware. They were nobody to mentor them, right? So because I was a senior enough, I had close to 10 years of experience. So we were asked to work at the customer side. Well, went to their office. They treated well, and one of the software lead became a very close friend of mine. His name is Raghavendra Maladi. I don't know where is he doing search. Lost touch with him before, so I had to go and link back and find out what they do. So very good friend, and he explained how the spectrum everything works in the wireless LAN domain. I used to learn some of the wireless concepts with him, how the 5 works, how the software is working in 5. So 5 was implemented in the hardware. We got it tested in FPGA. They also hired their employees. I had to train them. So all those things were happening. So in between this time, this company was going bankrupt. So they had to let us go. All that. Then they found another employer called Qualcore, whatever, India Private Limited, or whatever it is. Another services company. They were doing bigger things, but they gave the same salary, but they try to take advantage. It typically happens, right? When your company is a tough position, other people take advantage of you, right? So that's what happened. They promise something. They'll give some bonuses if you complete some milestones. I'll give you this, I'll give you that. All they said. Nothing happened. I waited for 3 months. They didn't like my way of working. Because I used to work with people in US. They're pretty much Indian, the company, and they didn't like that style of me working, me communicating, sending emails and all. They didn't like it. So a lot of communication gap was there, and they were unethical. Basically, they said they'll give you some X amount of money. I met all those goals, and still they didn't do that. Obviously, I was not happy, and then had a one of the VP of the company. So I went to told on the face. And he told what we do, this is what management, how we do this. I went to talk to the managing director, and he told me, I will take care of it. And he asked me to talk to the chairman. I forgot his chairman name of the company. Very good guy. Ashok something. So Ashok, his name is Ashok. I forgot his last name. So he tried to convince me, but they'll take care of me. They're doing some bad. No, I don't care about you. I had a good amount of knowledge. I got 10 years of experience, a good knowledge. At the time, Qualcomm came to India, right? So Qualcomm India Private Limited gave an ad in newspapers and everything. When we are starting office, these people please apply, right? So I applied online, Qualcomm website, and I was shortlisted, got an interview call. Right? So probably we'll talk about that in the next video. Right? I think I have spent quite a amount of time. So I'm going to talk about that in next video whenever I get time tomorrow. Still I'm in industry. So I'm going to talk about my Qualcomm experience, the Qualcomm interview, the next video. Right. So till then, see you, take care.